When you say that it could get even more turbulent, I feel like my only response is buckle in. But I do want to ask you, because you are an historian and you can provide a wide lens on this. So many people say we live in unprecedented times, and I'm sick of living in unprecedented times. How unprecedented is this moment really? And really the past 8 years? Or does history always feel unprecedented when you're living through it?
Well, look, I mean, I never like the word unprecedented because, of course, things are different. I mean, everything's always in flux, everything's always changing. And yes, I mean, I think you'd be a fool to deny that these are unusually polarized times, dramatic times. We've seen a surge in political violence that's quite uncommon. Not just the assassination of Trump, but over many years. Other members of Congress being shot at, people being stalked at their homes. Like the boundaries of civility are falling away, the guardrails of democracy. But this is not the only time we've been through something like that. I mean, some of our listeners will remember the late 60s as a time where there were multiple assassinations. Martin Luther King, Robert F. Kennedy. As I said, Wallace was shot a few years later, not killed, but shot. You had, riots in the streets. It was a very turbulent time when a lot of people thought American society was coming apart at the seams. You can go back, to other eras where there were periods of, anarchist terrorism. You could go back, of course, to the pre-Civil War era. Not that anybody hopes that that would be a precedent where the country literally goes to war with itself. So, we are in times that are quite different and quite different from what most of us have grown up with. But at the same time, you can find, certain precedents and certain other periods that were turbulent, that were disruptive, where people feared for the future of democracy, where people feared for the stability of the system. It's cold comfort to say, well, we made it through then. I don't think that should diminish our vigilance and concern about the health of the present moment. But it is important to realize that, this is not sort of completely new in all respects.
So, since it is not completely new, and we're coming up towards the end of time I have with you, what are your final thoughts? What would you like to leave with our audience? Either words of comfort, words of this is something to watch for. If we don't know our history, we're doomed to repeat it. What is one thing everyone should know as we move forward into this very, very busy summer?
Well, I think, it'd be a kind of foolish to try to offer words of comfort. I tend to be an optimist myself, but I'll confess that I have great anxiety about the state of our democracy and the state of our civil discourse. I do think that times of high political engagement, can lead to times of higher, greater political education, and that if people do sort of use the excitement and the passions that get them into politics, if they then channel that into a kind of serious concern with the health of democracy, we could come out on the other side, if not stronger, at least with our institutions intact. But we have a long way to go before I think any of us can rest easy and say that all is well with American democracy right now.